welcome everybody. It's a real privilege to be the CEO of Triumph Learning Trust, of which Rugby Free Secondary School is one of our schools. A multi-academy trust job really is to make sure that the schools within the trust get the best resources that they need and deliver the best education for your children. And we're really proud, and I'm really proud, of all our schools because the work they do is quite incredible. You'll hear a lot about that tonight at Rugby Free Secondary School. We have 5 schools, 3 of them in Rugby, and then 2 over in Coventry. And one of our sort of core values as a trust is to make sure that we collaborate together. It allows us to share expertise, to learn from each other, and also to provide support and also challenge to make sure that what we deliver is the best education for your children. And education isn't just about the qualifications that your children receive or achieve when they leave us. Obviously, that is really important as a parent myself. I wanted a school that my child could go to where they learned well and they got those important results. But also I wanted them to be in a school where they actually felt safe, they felt looked after, and they also felt that they could relate well to the people they were learning from. And that's another principle that's shared by all schools in our trust. Relationships are absolutely at the heart of everything that schools do because we know that we learn from people that we get on well with and we feel safe to learn if we're in a climate that's calm and settled. So one of the really important things you'll find on the school website is the policy called Relational Behaviour Approach, which sort of supports the teachers in school, the leaders in school, but you also as parents to know about the expectations of the school so that your children can learn in a place of safety and calmness. So, this school has not been in existence very long. We're very proud of its educational journey and the reputation that it's secured in the town over the recent years. But any school has to not just keep looking at what it's doing and what it's doing well, but also look to see how it can improve. And that's really important to the staff team here. They care very much about delivering the best education for your children, but also to learn and develop, and you'll hear a lot about that today. What I think is really impressive, and I hope you've got a flavour of that if you've been in the building, is the climate that exists. And it's a very friendly one, it's a very open one, but also at important times in the day, it's a very calm one. And I always felt that was really important because it means that not just in the classrooms where children are learning does it need to be calm, but also in and around the building when children are moving. And I was in and around school today at period 13, period 3 in the day, as they were walking in and around, going from one lesson to the other. There's a real positive vibe amongst the students, amongst the staff that work with them, and I think that's important. And I know when you speak and listen to what the other staff say tonight, you'll get that flavour too. So I'm going to hand back to Mr. Green to talk about Rugby Free Secondary School in a little bit more detail.
Thank you. So yes, as Sarah said, my name is Ian. I am the absolute pleasure and privilege of being the head teacher at this school. Although it's the opposite end of the wedge, I'm going through something that's quite similar to you guys at the moment. My daughter, Orla, who is there, who looks far older than her age, is going into primary school in September, and I'm having the bits and pieces at the moment where I'm going to look at primary schools, have a look at all the mountains of forms that are actually in the process that I don't really understand, and trying to weigh up which I should choose for her without any real knowledge of that. So we hope that by tonight we give you some knowledge of our school and you go away with a real picture and flavour of what we're all about. My partner there, Kerry, in the top right-hand corner, who spends most of her time putting up with me when I'm with work or at work. And then the most important person in that particular picture is Reggie there, my cockapoo, in the bottom right-hand corner, who really runs my household and myself. If you know he nods there, if anybody else that's got cockapoo in this group. As a school, what sets us apart, and you're going to probably hear a lot over the course of the next few weeks and months with other schools open evenings about what other schools do and what they stand for. For us, we try and pin it down to 4 things. This school is by far and away the most inclusive school that I've ever worked in, and I'm really proud of that in terms of diversity, the fact that we celebrate uniqueness, and that's something that other people comment on regularly. We're aspirational. We want the absolute best of the people that come through these doors on a day-to-day basis, irrespective of starting point. And also, we are here to develop the whole child, that personal development, which Mrs. Austin will talk about later. And that's really what we stand for as a school in this current climate. We also have 6 core values. I talk to students a lot, as do my staff, about what these values stand for and what I expect people to behave like in this particular building. And those values are things that we live and breathe, as opposed to things you just might see on a planner or around the building on a poster, etc. They are things that fundamentally we believe underpin good human life. So, we had an Ofsted inspection a few years ago now. We're in an Ofsted window. We are waiting for them to come back. They did say, and we're very proud of the fact, they talked about the fact that uniqueness here was valued and celebrated. They talked about the fact that pupils felt confident to be themselves here at Rugby Free. Culture, where people see differences as a positive thing. Behaviour around the school being respectful and calm. And the curriculum being well planned for students of all abilities. And that was 3 or 4 years ago, and actually we think that those things that they identified then are actually better now than what they were then. We also put a parental survey out every year. There are some people in here that I recognise that have got siblings at this current school, and we always have, there's always some bits and pieces to do, and I'm never ever going to stand here and say that we are perfect. That is not the case. But the comments are very positive, talking about the extra support that children see here, talking about at a time when most schools are cutting things. Actually, in the school, we are going above and beyond from drama, arts, sports perspective, and that's something we are really, really proud of, and hopefully you've seen on our Facebook and Instagram feeds over the course of the last 12 months, for example, for School Show. We are about collaboration, and actually what we hope and what we aim to do is to have a situation where we work with you and alongside you. We are very privileged to have your children with us over the course of the school day for 195 days a year. And we want to work with you through parents' evenings, parents' information evenings, through different workshops, be that literacy, numeracy, IT. We've got a cooking workshop coming up very shortly, through SEND and inclusion workshops and coffee afternoons, attendance working parties, through options evenings, next steps evenings, sixth form finance workshops when you get to that point and realise that actually there's a big student debt that's about to come your way, and specialist support workshops such as HPA or different subgroups. We want to do things with you, we want to work with you, and as Sarah said, our ethos is about that open, honest transparency with positive relationships. There's a guy here that I always make a joke that wears a Rugby Free polo shirt. He doesn't wear a Rugby Free polo shirt. I just put the badge on there just so he looked like he was one of us. I've never seen him here through these turnstiles. But in 2022, he wrote a 178-page report that talked about what makes great schools, essentially. And the key line in this 178-page report was the most significant factor in education is the relationship between students and their teachers. And I agree 100%, but I'm not sure it needs a 178-page study to work that out. We've all been to school, we all know the drill. I was certainly better behaved with those people at school where I felt I had some relationship with them, had something in common. And we operate a relationships-driven approach. We're very warm, but at the same time, we are here for learning, and that is what our expectations are. In terms of other research, and John in a moment is going to talk about curriculum and the quality of education. In terms of other research that we adopt, we look at all the latest research from this country and across the world to make sure that actually we're giving your children the best possible experiences that they can have in this school. And these are just 4 texts that we regularly refer to as staff in training. Finally then, just for me, before I hand over, we've had an incredible 12 months and beyond that really. Last year, if you haven't seen, we had the Department for Education who came into profile as one of 5 schools across the country that they were looking at as being the most improved and being sustained improvement and continuing on that trajectory. We presented at a national conference last year about our methods, how we work with students, what we do to support them as best as we possibly can. We've had our students have quotes about democracy read out in Parliament. We won a national arts competition last year. We were invited by Williams Formula One team as part of a STEM project because of the work that we do in science, technology and maths. We've had the local MP in several times. We were nominated as a BBC Star School and on the radio for that last year. And one of our students, at the very last day of the school term last year, won the National Entrepreneur of the Year award across the country. So we're really proud of what we've achieved in a very short window, and hopefully that's something that you've seen a lot in the press and on our Facebook. I just want to finish by really saying about the fact that I am obviously biased as the head teacher of the school, naturally, but I genuinely believe this is a really special and a unique place, and that comes from the people within it, the staff and the students and the parents that work with us on a day-to-day basis. You've got a little flavour there of what we're about and what actually we here on a day-to-day basis. There's lots of things, great things that Johnny lessons, lots of great teaching and learning, but also lots of great experiences that your young people can access here at this school. I'm going to come back in later, but thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. I'm going to hand over to John, who is our Deputy Head Teacher for Curriculum and Teaching.
Oh, look at that massive head on the screen, everybody. In case you're wondering, that's me on the left. So my name's John Harris. I'm Deputy Head. I look after the quality of education. I am a local guy. I've lived here all my life. I did escape for a few months, but rugby was so good I thought I had to come back. So this is a little bit about me. There's my children. And the reason I show this photo is the one in the middle, just sort of next to me there, actually comes to this school. And I think it's important, isn't it? It says a lot when somebody that works in the school, their child actually comes here. So she, I lived at the north end of town, so went to Avon Valley because that was the local school, but she's come in for sixth form, and she's doing incredibly well. Bottom right-hand corner is the one that normally gets all the attention. That is my dog. He is a former TikTok sensation. He has retired now, but at his peak, he did have over 10,000 followers on TikTok. In particular, he was big in Australia and America. He has retired, but he is still prepared to sign some merchandise if you want some. So, a little bit about us as a school. So, Mrs. Austin will talk in a moment, and Mr. Green's already talked about it, about, you know, the thing about this school is that it is a beautiful school to work at and a beautiful school for your children to come to. If you've never been here before, I imagine today you've come down that drive, seen this beautiful building, and seen a little bit of it outside, and compared that to maybe schools that you guys went to. And it blew me away, and it blows me away every time I come here. But what's also important is that if you join us for 5 years or 7 years, you know, what are you likely to achieve at the end of that? We want you to do as well as you can. Well, we're on an upward trajectory. Our results are getting better and better each year. We are getting noticed for this all the time. Last year, we made the news for being in the top 16 performing state secondary schools in Warwickshire. Our A-levels last year as well, being recognised for best progress in the town. So it might feel a bit weird now to start off just doing a little bit about year 13, year 6 is 7 years away. But we hope that you'll join us not just for 5 years, but hopefully for the 7. So we're proud of our A-level results. The average grade our students get here is C+, and that's been getting better and better the last few years. If you're not for A-level, you do more vocational qualifications, again distinction, is a really good grade. That's our average grade as well. The destination is important because what do you do with that after you leave school? Well, we know and we've got records that our students go on to something after here, so whether that's university, whether that's some sort of job. 100% of our students last year had a position when they left us at the age of 18. And if we just have a look at the bit at the bottom there, it tells us a little bit about the amount of subjects. Those subjects are very popular across the country and indeed here. So results day, I had to put my best clothes on, I had to breathe in a little bit as I had that photo taken next to the student. We're really pleased as well about our GCSEs and not just our A-levels, but obviously most of you now will take the GCSEs and leave us in 5 years' time. Our grades have been getting better and better. This year, because of lack of progress measures, COVID and students not doing Key Stage 2 SATs, they were you'll see the league tables are a little bit different. And we report an average attainment score. We've had the best score that we've ever had in the time the school has existed this year, we're really proud of, and our average grade is a grade 4 pass. In particular, we've done very, very well in the key subjects that students need to go on to whatever they're going to do next. So things like English, maths, and the sciences. So we're really proud of those, and they were not only good for us, but they were good in terms of the town context, and also slightly wider than the brands. Now that's at the end. What about at the beginning? So when you join us in Year 7 next year, one thing we're really keen to do is to make sure that you have the right sort of pathway in place for you. So something we look at is putting the pathways in place to make sure that our students can achieve no matter what your starting point is. Last year we had a number of, last year actually, this year, so students just started in Year 7. We've got a number of them joined us this year with full marks in the SATs test. So they chose not to go to the local grammar schools, chose to come to us instead. Now as a school, it's our job, if we've got a cohort of 180 students, to do our best with that. How do we make sure we challenge our very able, and how do we support our students who've got lower scores and have different starting points? So one thing we do later on is we look at pathways, and we look at how we can make sure you can do as well as you can. In terms of subjects that you can do here, we have some of the widest range of subjects that you will find in the school, in the town, sorry. So for example, Key Stage 3, which is Year 7, 8 and 9, we offer 13 subjects. When you get to GCSE, the range goes up to 28. So we have a huge range of choice for our students. Now, one thing we've been working on as a school, and the bit that we've been trying to develop, is how we work with our most able students. So Mr. Goodwin here, who you will see up in science today, he is running a Year 7 Stretch and Challenge programme, and he will be working a little bit about how do we sort of really make sure our most able learners have that opportunity to push on and do even more. So that's a little bit about what I'm trying to do, what we're trying to do as a school, to make sure you leave with the best grades possible. But of course, it's not just about that. It's a little bit more about, how we leave us in terms of being developed in every area, which Miss Lawson is about.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. This is my little family are on the board here. It's my husband, and I've been here at this school for 7 years now, excluding last year, which they gave me a bit of time off to go and have a baby, which was very nice of them. So my little boy is off to nursery for the last couple of weeks, and I have got a dog, but I've got a cat who acts like a dog, so I feel like that counts. This is little Merv. So do you pick up on a bit of an accent? I am from Manchester, and I moved down here 7 years ago to work here, and this is where I've worked ever since. And I'll kind of explain a bit more why I've mentioned that a little bit later. So as John's just been talking about, the kind of in-lesson taught curriculum is massively important. That is what ultimately you kind of come to school for. You want to get the results and get you on to the next step. However, we think it's really important to think about what happens outside of lessons as well, and about developing the whole person. And we kind of think that crossover is really well explained in the term set for life, which has been referenced tonight already. It's not just about ensuring that if your child comes to us, they're prepared for the next step in their educational journey, but what else can we do whilst we've got your child with us for all those days and all those hours to ensure that they are set up with the skills that they need, as well as the qualifications that they need for life ahead. So I'm just going to touch a little bit on those things now. Our Set for Life curriculum then incorporates these 4 main areas, which you see on the board behind me, and is delivered through the different kind of vehicles that are mentioned on the board. Things like tutor time, assembly, tricks, and so on and so forth. I will come back to that and mention some of the extracurricular enrichment opportunities there are. Just very briefly going back to that in-lesson taught curriculum, again it's filled in on what John was saying about the number of subjects that are offered at Key Stage 3, which we feel is really important. When students get to Year 9 and they are expected to select their options for GCSE, how can we expect them to do that if they haven't had an experience of it, they haven't had a taste of it, at that Key Stage 3 level. So we ensure that curriculum to enable them to make those choices. Just to mention as well, this is a common question that we get. When students start in Key Stage 3, they are set by ability in the core subjects of English, Maths and Science, but it will mix ability for the other classes, and you'll be kept up to date with their progress, obviously at parents' evenings, but also through a termly report that gets sent home. If you want a bit more information though about what is it that your child is covering, so you can support them at home, you can talk to them about them, ask questions, see what's coming up ahead. We do have these curriculum maps, both 5-year and 7-year options, that if you say in sixth form, that basically give an overview of what's on offer, and if you're really interested and want to look a bit further ahead, and what exam boards we have in each subject, and what qualifications and options we offer. We've mentioned as well about making sure we support and meet every child where they are at in terms of their academic progress. And so on the board here listed here are some of the options of the extracurricular support we offer that's linked to the talk curriculum in lessons. So we've got capture clubs, homework clubs, we've got that acceleration program for challenge for students. We send them on lots of resources. You'll see homework plans again, so you can see what's coming up, which have linked resources for support and things like that. I want to talk to you a little bit more though about the enrichment and the club and the things that are happening outside of the classroom. We have a wealth of experiences, some of which obviously Ian's already mentioned in terms of the tricks and the achievements that have been going on, and we also place a lot of value in not just the extracurricular clubs that we host as a school and that we have on, but also we do ask parents to share with us so that we can celebrate your achievements. We recognise that you'll have hobbies and interests outside of school as well as been some fantastic achievements and special recognitions that we've been able to give to students there. We do offer ourselves 40 different enrichment clubs, and we do always say, if there isn't a club that you're interested in, then let us know and you can start your own. Over 55 trips went out just last year alone, and we have enrichment fairs which encourage students to sign up to these. Ours is happening next week, really nice and early in the year to get that buy-in and that engagement at the start. And obviously the rewards and the recognition I mentioned, it's really important to recognise the strengths, the achievements and the positives for students. A large way that we do this is through our house system. We have 4 houses that students are kind of categorised into. Everything that we do that is associated with the house system has been very much student-led. It's something that we launched just a couple of years ago. Students have been involved in the logo of their house. They have selected the charity that they would like to support for their house and have a huge level of involvement. Some of the events that are hosted are listed on the board just here. Like I said, we raise money for those charities. All the point throughout the year, the winning house gets to go on an extra awards trip. And it's a really nice way of recognising and building that healthy competition within school as well. But what is probably most important to you guys sat here right now is what does that kind of set of life and that support look like at a transition level? Taking that really and navigating that journey from primary school to secondary school. We again are really, really proud of the offer that we have in terms of that transition support programme. From the moment that you accept a place at the school, and will be coming to us in September, immediately there are lots of plans and lots of actions put into place. The main one being that we go and individually see every single child that is coming to us. So with me being from Manchester, that has been a fantastic way to get to know the local area and get into all the local schools and really find my way around by going to all those different feeder schools, meeting with the students, meeting with teachers, and getting as much information as possible about your child before they even step foot through the door in their shiny new RFSS uniform in that September. So that involves the transition day in July, the visits that I've mentioned, collating all that information, speaking to you guys as parents, inviting you in again on the evening of that transition day. You'll get to meet the year 17, the tutor, all of that happens before the September. And we are also really proud to be one of the only schools that offer a summer school. So again, if you accept your place in year 7, you are guaranteed a place on our summer school, which normally runs the first week of August of the summer holidays. It's run by our own staff. And it is a fantastic opportunity for students to start to build those relationships that we have said are so key to their success at school. The relationships with their own cohort, with the staff here, and really just get to know school building. So when they walk through the door, they also feel, as well as we know in them, that they know us and they know the school, they feel part of that community already. If you are interested as well, we do, oh, that's just brochure from last year, we do have some open mornings. So if you've come tonight, you'd like what you see, but you want to come and see us in action, so to speak, and just check that everything that we're saying is true, then we do open up our doors for you to come and see us in our open morning tours. I will warn you though, as it says there are only 12 spaces available per slot. Please keep an eye on our social media and website. That's where we will release the details of how you can book onto those tours. And just to reiterate, it'll be the week commencing just that week of the 22nd of September, and it'll be in the morning from about 9ish till 11. I'm just going to come back to the screen now for some final words, but thank you again for your time this evening.
Thank you, Becca. Just a quick one, guys, in terms of it's the most commonly frequently asked question. We don't usually cover it in the talk, but I've chosen to this year. So as a free school, we technically have no fixed catchment. And that is something that has been typically the case since we've been in existence. However, in all transparency, over the last couple of years, because we have become more popular, catchment area, catchment loose term, have been narrowed by the local authority. What that essentially means is, I know the grammar system works slightly differently, but what that really means is, if you do want to come here and you are very serious about coming here, then you will have to put us as your number one choice to have any chance of being able to get in. Last year we had 295 first choices, and we just wanted to make that absolutely clear to people so that everyone knows. We know, to go back to the bit at the start, we know that the process is difficult, navigated enough, so we want to be clear and transparent about that. If you have any questions close to the time around that, please do email our info inbox and a member of staff will get back to you as quickly as possible. Other than that, thank you for your time this evening. We really, really genuinely appreciate it. We're humbled to see so many people in the building. We hope that you've had an interesting experience tonight and learned a lot about our school. We also hope that you get the chance to go and have a look around and delve in and speak to some of our students as well. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your evening.